I'm on YouTube. We're gonna start basically with my 55-gallon setup with a 20-gallon sump. Basically, I have the radions on full blast 100. I'm running this on the Neptune system. Come to my Neptune system. Let's put it back to automatic. The settings are because 100 is a little too bright right now for everything. So it brings it back here. Alright, I basically have small corals. I'm actually starting off a reef tank, but I want to actually practice with the smaller pieces of coral. As you see, I have aquapora, I have bubble coral, I have torches, I have hammerheads, and I have various zoanthids. Can't really see the color pop out of it. Basically, that's how I'm starting off this 55 gallon. Alright, first let's start from top to bottom. Okay, from top, I'm running a Radion XR30. This is the 3rd generation light. And I also have the mount for the Radion. I have an old school overflow. Basically, you might have to change that later on. It's an older tank, but it's been working for me fine. This little holes right here is actually to suck the air out of this if the flow is not too fast. I'm also running a Vortex pump. It's an MP40. The radio and the MP40. They're both running on my Neptune control WXM wireless module. That temperature probe on the bottom is basically to give me an idea compared to my Apex. Now it's 78 degrees, and then I'll use that little temperature probe to pretty much verify it. 77.9. I just think having the extra probe is just more just redundancy to make sure that your tank's running the correct temp. Alright, that's my energy bar. On the bottom here is the brain. Can't really see, there's a lot of wires running back there. Then I have my PM2 for salinity. You notice I have everything on this wall right here. That's on my couch, so it's not on the floor. It's not really close to the tank if anything was to happen. And my Vortex is here, basically running wireless. Okay, and now we will go to my infusion. I have basically an EHAM pump for my return. That's a bag of carbon, geofoam also. And then in a basic Home Depot light that I bought for probably like $15 with 6500K volt. And I'm running right now Bubble Calepa. I also have Chatham in my infusion. I have a little bit of red algae, but it's only on this rock. You can also notice the copepods. I'm actually leaving the red slime here, so, and I noticed that it's actually helping out with the copepods to populate very well. There's an outlet. This is basically, the top one is for my auto topper, which is the Smart ATO. I don't know if you can actually see that, it's pretty dark. And basically it runs to a container right here, a small little container, nothing big. A container basically holds me down for a good 3 to 4 days without me having to come here and topping it off by hand. It does it myself. Later on I'll probably upgrade to a bigger container, maybe hide it in the back of my couch right here and just run the hose to it. I'm running a phosphate reactor in the back and also UV. If you notice, these are my probes, my temperature probe, and I also have salinity probe. I also have a ORP probe and my conductivity, or salinity conductivity, and temperature. So it's temperature, pH, conductivity, salinity. And then I got a fluval pump. This fluval pump actually runs to my protein skimmer. I have an old school protein skimmer. It's actually a hang-on protein skimmer. I will come around here. That's my protein skimmer. This is an old school type of protein skimmer. So I have actually a pump that pumps water in from the sump and circulates it, while the air hose produces air through a wooden air stone. And that basically makes all the bubbles, forms up, and then it starts foaming up top. And that was basically how my skimmer works. It was a pretty good skimmer for an older skimmer. I might upgrade later on. For now. And let's see what else I'm missing here. Give you a view of pretty much how the phosphate reactor is working. That's the UV. And that's the phosphate reactor with the media. Little fishes, works out pretty good. I actually have this phosphate reactor. I have my phosphate reactor connected to my UV, so it goes through my phosphate, and then it connects to the UV, and then it comes out through here. I have a little, pretty much filter just to run the water down and make it a little more quieter. Not as much air bubbles also. And that's pretty much it for my saltwater tank. Use coral dip. It's not a real fish, it's a fake fish. Always use coral dip before I put my corals in. And also, last thing, but mostly, is my camera. I don't know if you can see that. It's a Foscam. It's a 1810, and that basically can rotate pretty much 180 degrees to see my skimmer, to see my refugium, to see the level where my pump is, make sure my ATO is running, so if I'm out of the way, or if I'm on vacation or something. And basically everything runs from my Apex. I can actually run everything here. Right now I only have one camera installed, but I'm gonna put another camera for the display, and that pretty much gives you all the access. The Apex is probably the best best investment I've done so far. It also can show you charts. Show you charts over here. This is the amperage, basically showing how much electricity used. I don't really use that much. You can see my max is 3.8. I've seen people use 6 amps. And the race takes you from a couple of days, 13th of March, all the way to 19th of March. As you scroll down, you get your conductivity. Now, for some reason, my probe is not exactly where it's supposed to be at, so my conductivity readings are high, but I have a refractometer that I actually check my salinity, and I also I verify that it's pretty stable. If you notice that my salinity, the max is 39, 38, so it's about 1 off. Then I'll leave the probe like that. I know that my salinity is fine because I do test it with a refractometer. So, okay, my ORP is basically always pretty stable. The minimum that I ever had is 318. I think that was at the beginning of the setup. But now my minimum is 333 to 353. ORP, from not really familiar what it is, but I know And if you pretty much have levels from 250 to 450, you're pretty fine. Majority of people that I look on the YouTube, they say 350 is a stable and pretty much cleanliness water. This is my temperature. If you see the temperature goes up and down, it's because the Apex controller is actually shutting it off and turning it on. So you get those up and down graphs, but it's pretty stable. Average is 78. My minimum, as you can see, is 76, but that was due to a big water change I did, and I didn't use a heater, so it pretty much made the water cold. Now my minimum is 77.4. My max is 78.9, which is a good temperature for. This is a second temp probe. It's not connected, so it's just flat. This is my pH. If you notice, my average pH right now is 8.25. 8.33 is maximum, and my minimum is 8.1. Usually you get these swings from day and night. Day being usually a higher pH, and as you shut off your lights, as they ramp off, your pH will drop. Also, what's a neat fact about this, it's always good to have notes. So I'll click onto this. You can actually write notes down. So when you do water changes, you change your filter media or your filter socks, or when you add supplements, when you fed the corals, what you installed, bad things like I had a coral warfare here, so I had to move the corals, seeing that the fish are eating good. When I installed the UV, which was recently, which was yesterday, and just you could put your water parameters. So I'll click onto that, so I can see what actually my parameters are there, and as you can know, it's pretty decent. My calcium's low, and my alkalinity is a little high. But other than that, all my levels are pretty on point. Pretty happy with that. And let me just basically go back up. The Apex, you pretty much have all controls of everything. I mean, right now I have my Radion set on auto. You see it's using 47%. But if you click onto the Radions, it'll show you a little chart. You can actually custom it or use the presets that are there and set up the times that you want the Radion to come on and shut off. Basically, I'll start at 14K, I have custom, and then I'll ramp up. And then I'll go bounce deep blue and then sunset. It's my settings, basically what I do. Then also you can do with the vortex to match it. Click on the name. You go to the vortex right here, and also it has a graph that basically show you can change at different times of the different mode that you want to use. Constant, lagoon, reef crest, tidal, nutrient, and pulse. I really don't use pulse because I only have one MP40 now. I will be getting another one. I'll probably be upgrading this tank also. Let's see what else. If you notice, I have my phosphate reactor on. Pretty much the UV light, I have it on. Right now, so I'm having a little ick problem, so I'm using that to use some preventive measurements. My refuse light is always on. My main pump is always on. I'm gonna set up a feed mode today, and my heater is on auto, so it basically shuts off at 80, turns off on 79, so it's a 1 degree swing. My skimmer is always on. The aerator is part of the skimmer, and the vortex is basically plugged into the EBA, which I might probably just take out later. And that's basically it. That's my tank right here. Thanks for watching, and more updates as I go. I'm gonna probably get some bigger coral. Bigger coral to fill in these gaps. I was just basically starting. I'm new to saltwater, so see how it goes, and hopefully This tank will start evolving into a beautiful tank. It's a beautiful aquapora right there. It's different colors, like a purple, type of reddish. You can't really tell the light because the blue light is not really giving the effect that I would like to show. Maybe I'll get a better camera later on and show you the intensity. I only have 4 fish right now. Pretty much a little hippo tang, coral beauty, and 2 damsels, and I also have a cleaner shrimp right over there. Basically eats the parasites from the fish, and a couple of snails, and a couple of. I gotta flip him over. It's not really that many crabs in there because I'm just starting a tank, but it should work out for now, and I'll keep you updated as the 55-gallon tank, boat tank gets set up. Have a nice day.